Hey everyone, this is Nona again from the Alliance Lover. I have another video for you today. We are looking at Tessa Thompson, who I believe is a flamboyant gamine, and we're just going to be drooling over her very animated, electric, and eclectic style. So hopefully if you're a flamboyant gamine, you can get some pointers from what she wears and how she wears it, and hopefully it can get your creativity going or help you break out and wear things that you might be a little timid to wear, because a lot of these outfits are very brave, they're very courageous. You really have to know who you are and why you want to wear certain things to really feel comfortable in these very, very loud outfits. And if you're not a flamboyant gamine, this hopefully can give you some insight into this very special type, or help you develop an appreciation for different styles that you may not necessarily be comfortable wearing or even like. So let's get started. So Tessa Thompson, she's a flamboyant gamine. So that means that, in her case, she's more petite, and she has more of a square characteristic to her limbs. She's not the longest. If you really look at her body, she has sharp but narrow shoulders. She's quite streamlined throughout the torso. And depending on how much she works out for certain roles, her arms tend to take on a kind of square muscularity. So do her legs. So again, there's a range. So if you feel like, you can't be a certain type because, you may be a little bit too muscular or a bit too soft, there's always a range. So that being said, what looks really great on Tessa Thompson, since she does have this body type, what looks great on her is staccato lines, broken lines. It's a sort of visual rhythm that is set up by different, contrasting colors, shapes, cuts, and tailoring. There is always a need for something very tailored with the flamboyant gamine. They can't just dress themselves in flowy, unstructured, very loose clothing because they get very lost in it. And it can make them look out of proportion. It can make them look wider or broader, or can really just throw them off. So they need to find clothes that fit their body well. It doesn't have to be clingy throughout the whole body, but it does have to outline the body and exaggerate and emphasize. Also, the use of contrasting lines, horizontal, vertical, diagonal. It really helps break up their body into different sections, and that makes them look more lively and more vibrant. They're not the most, I would say, svelte kind of body type. So you're not going to see them really making the most of something that would look good on, say, a romantic that's very clingy, flowy, and soft. On them, it looks a bit too feminine, and it can make them look a bit wider because of that. So you want to make sure that you always emphasize some yang, some structure, some kind of very structured details, some lines, some angularity if you're a flamboyant gamine. So let's just look at the pictures now since I've talked so much. Okay, so in this first outfit, again, the use of separates, amazing color blocking. We have the kind of longer jacket, the nicely high cut skirt with all this beautiful contrasting print on it, just really breaks her up so well. These really funky shoes that are just adorable. And again, her hair just finishes all of the look. The asymmetrical, buoyant, very, very lively hairstyle just makes it golden. So in this middle picture, again, asymmetrical hairstyle. We get this beautiful contrast on the, the lapels of this big blazer. Yes, it's oversized, but it's tailored to be that way. It's intentional. It's not just accidentally oversized. Again, we have beautiful detailing, these lines here. The button up creates more lines, and then you just get this beautiful Baroque visual rhythm. by layering this blazer onto this half-opened button-up and this very, straight cut skirts underneath. And in this one, it's another really fun one, all this color, this very, I would say, close-fitting jacket. It's not the most flattering jacket, but it works. You don't always have to be trying to create this hourglass, perfectly balanced figure when you're a flamboyant gamine. You can really exaggerate and play with different visual shapes and really own it. Again, the different prints, the different layers, the different types of material, and then it's just finished off with these golden shoes that do have some angularity to them. Lovely use of shiny, very metallic with very matte, chunky. It's very fun. If you're flamboyant, gamine, free yourself from this expectation to always look conventionally beautiful, because you will have so much more fun when you just dress from this place of excitement and playfulness. So in these three outfits, I just really want to hone in on the fun use of details, of patterns. So in this one, we get a really playful color blocking with the obvious switch in colors of the same pattern. It creates that staccato rhythm. I love the voluminous sleeves. It really extends the arm. And here we have this very playful asymmetrical skirt with a nice detail, the pleating, the deep pleats that are quite precise. So you get this juxtaposition of voluminous, a little bit more rounded open shape, sharp shoulders, form-fitting body, and then this very fun kind of curtain-like effect on the bottom skirt. Here, you still get a sense of staccato due to the placement of the prints. You get a very fun shape. She creates a very interesting effect by wearing the black sleeves. It kind of makes her arms almost disappear, and you really have to focus on the central portion. You get this very interesting, set of two long rectangles and then this, shorter rectangle, and it creates those different visual cues, those different shapes that make it so lively. And here I really just love these very interesting details on the collar. I don't know what you would call them, like folded down pleats, but they're pretty genius on her, especially with her hair. It's giving me really strong Alice in Wonderland vibes. I love the contrast of this plaid with this very shiny, metallic, like silver blouse. You get this really interesting opening of the sleeves, nice arm slit, more pleating on the cuff, and then this bright red transparent raincoat just takes it over the top, but it still looks so contained in this very specific flamboyant gamine universe. So yeah, this is just the magic of the flamboyant gamine. They can really pull off these very out of this world kind of unique style. So in this slide, I just wanted to point out her wonderful use of lasers. Here we get this juxtaposition of this very linear, well-structured blazer and this very bohemian, very flowy, but still quite contained and accurate kind of skirt. It's not huge and billowy. It's quite calculated, especially with these strips of fabric that give it a bit more structure, a bit more regularity. Obviously, lots of color blocking here, and her hair is just perfect here. In the central photo, this is oversized intentionally. It's super lovely. It gives me very 80s vibes, especially with this lovely silk turban. You still get this sense of angles. Your eyes take on a very, exaggerated visual path anytime you see these very characteristic flamboyant gamine outfits. And here we have something that's just a bit more subtle, but you still have this wonderful sense of sleekness, of structure, It's more flamboyant can mean sleek, but it's still playful with her use of accessories, the bright colors, the blocking, and just the attitude she really portrays when she, stands in a very proud way. The flamboyant Gamine can't hide. This is a very flamboyant type. This is not a timid type. And here, I just wanted to remind you that even if you're a flamboyant Gamine, it doesn't mean you have to only wear these very quirky, plaid, clashing pattern type of clothes. You can borrow from, any kind of essence you want and just make it your own by really honoring your lines and your body. Here, these 3 photos show that she can pull off this kind of a mermaidy vibe really, really well. She looks quite magical. So in this one, we get this lovely ombre effect on the skirt, and it's quite an eccentric skirt. It has a lot of character to it. And she lets the skirt really shine with this very, sleek but understated top. And then her, skin really glows from this well-chosen color. Her hair, again, asymmetrical, flowing, lively, just beautiful. Just a really great, understated kind of mermaid flamboyant Gamine friendly look. And this middle one, love the shoulders, love this line that she's creating with these exaggerated high shoulders. The metallic print is amazing. The high slit, it's strong, it's asymmetrical, it's fun, and it's very, very shiny. And in this last one, I would say this is the most characteristic of her style. If I had to choose of these 3, I would say this one really says Tessa Thompson. The use of all these different segments, the different metallics, the cutouts, the very loud shapes. These shapes are not subtle. They're very, very intentional. They're very, very direct. They're straightforward. And by combining all of these direct kind of angles and, clean cut lines, you put enough of them together and it creates a very mysterious look. So in this side, I just want to emphasize this kind of balance that the flamboyant Gamine has. When they wear these very lively clothes, it doesn't look ridiculous on them because their face is so fresh. There's something very magical, almost otherworldly about a lot of their faces. It's very playful. Their face says that they don't take it too seriously, and that's why they have so much fun with it. So to really honor that kind of face, freshness, clean slates, if you're going to do something eccentric like this middle makeup look, the rest of your look has to be buoyant enough to really pull it off. If you wear it just too much, you'll end up looking almost clown-like. It almost becomes just too exaggerated. So the balance of the flamboyant Gamine is just this very beautiful, clean, dewy canvas that just has this very almost innocent, opalescent, pearly kind of radiance coming from within. And that really allows these more fun looks, fun outfits, fun combinations to really shine without being overwhelming. And here, I just wanted to show you some looks that I don't think are the best for the flamboyant Gamine or Tessa Thompson in this case, because they're not really honoring her lines and she gets lost in them, and it doesn't look as sassy and playful and sharp as the other look. So in this first one, it's oversized, it's too long, it's too continuous. There's nothing really sharp or tailored anywhere. It's just too flowy and round. There's just one color, so there's no segmentation going on. And this middle one, it's just too demure, I think. We do have this lovely slit skirt, but the top is just a little too long, it's too heavy, you don't really get any sense of shape, sharp angles from it. It just kind of it just falls around her without really hugging her. And then the colors are just not very playful. And then in this last one, I think it's a fun dress, but I do think it is a little too long. It's too flowy. It's too flimsy and lightweight. You don't get that sense of electricity from the use of different weighted fabrics. So I hope that you can appreciate Tessa Thompson's style. I know it isn't for everyone, but I think she pulls it off amazingly well. It's very authentic to her. And let me know if you're flamboyant gamine, what you're afraid of wearing, but would really love to. I would be really interested in hearing that. All right, bye.